Larry Fink just said the quiet part out loud. Listen.
As I became a student of crypto, it was very clear to me that crypto is a currency of fear. And that's okay.
To some extent.
Yeah, but that's okay. Because if you're frightened of your debasement of your currency, or you're frightened of your economic or political stability of your country, you could have an internationally based instrument called Bitcoin that will overcome those local fears. And so I'm a big believer in the utilization of that as an instrument. And so if that becomes true, and you see that it could be a proper hedge against maybe hope security or equities.
Yeah.
The question is, could you see a 2 or 5% allocation? I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, it would be 500,000, 600,000 stuff.
I'm sorry. Did Larry Fink just say he was talking to a sovereign wealth fund, whether they should do a 2% or a 5% allocation? Did I just hear that correctly? Now, you may ask me, Alvarez, what is a sovereign wealth fund? It's a state-owned investment fund used to benefit the country's economy and citizens. Now, the key word here is countries. Countries investment fund. Now, I'm going to show you something why a 2 to 5% allocation is wild. Now, if we have a small little look at some of the sovereign wealth funds, we kind of see that these numbers are spectacular on levels where a 5% allocation of one of them would absolutely skyrocket Bitcoin to a level where if, say, Abu Dhabi put a 5% allocation of its $579 billion sovereign fund, I got a feeling that might move the needle of Bitcoin. But now, there's something really cool. And this gives a great confluence between what is happening, what Larry Fink said, what this means, and what is the reality of crypto. Now, if you like what we're doing here, please make sure to press the like, follow, and share, and just press that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything. Now, what he said actually has a lot of weight, even though it's Larry Fink. Let's just put that caveat there. Now, the thing I need to explain to you is that it said something that Bitcoin was a currency of fear. Now, where does fear hold itself? You look at factors in the world, so such as war, such as inflation, such as a weak government or a weak currency. Now, the world relies on the US dollar as a standard of currency. That's why it's the world reserve currency, because of its stability of its government, its economy, and the ability to hold the wealth against their own currency or political problems. Now, when there is another factor, a digital currency, a digital form of value proposition, such as Bitcoin, then that would bode well with what is happening here. If the dollar value is reducing due to certain yield and various other investment assets becoming more prevalent and attractive, then other countries' proposal to buy the dollar reduces and its propensity to actually hold Bitcoin increases. And the way Bitcoin's actual program is stated within its basis, its DNA, would mean that the more it's held, the higher the value goes. So the higher the ability of that person who is purchasing this asset, this store of value, would be able to store the value of their currency, their wealth, at the point of purchase, and in fact be able to gain if they buy it now. So this gives you a really interesting proposition. Now, if the US starts to actually deregulate and create clarity, then this could mean that the reason why they're doing such a thing, the reason why they're pushing, is because maybe they are hearing that other countries are starting to invest their sovereign funds, their hedge against their currency, not in the dollar, but in Bitcoin. And if the US doesn't lead that, they will be left behind, and the dollar could be even weaker. So it makes more confluence to the fact of why the Donald Trump government is doing all the policies it's doing, and why Larry Fink would be having conversations with sovereign funds to do a 2 to 5% allocations. Just have a look. Just do what 5% of $600 billion is. Just do that number and then explain to me why you shouldn't be bullish in Bitcoin. Anyway, I'm Alvarez, a 7-figure crypto investor. Like, follow, share, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.